This Week in Baseball features new heights. Pennant races are moving at a reckless rate. Contenders find it tough to overtake the leaders. Base runners steal the show. And across the Pacific, a shot rings out that's heard round the world. Headlines and highlights from New York to Tokyo. Coming up next on This Week in Baseball. In baseball's September stretch run, the leading teams of the four Major League divisions have all been hot and tough to handle. The Los Angeles Dodgers have been at the top of the National League West since the beginning of the season, and they continue to show the stuff that got them off to their hot start. Ron Cey's been making that play all year. The Penguin got the Dodgers flying early with his scorching bat, and recently he's been smoking again. And you can say goodbye to that one. Reggie Smith continues to park him. There goes home run number 27. Dusty Baker cooks up number 22. And Mr. Dodger, Steve Garvey, really ripping. Blast homer number 29 and RBI number 100. The Dodgers have the artillery to bring home the runs and plenty of defense to prevent them. Though Steve Yeager is one of the best defensive catchers in baseball, the Dodgers obtained veteran Jerry Grote from the Mets for added security. Grote's a proven winner with a knack for chipping in the clutch. He'll also be able to handle those talented Dodger pitchers who go right on blowing them down. Here is Bert Hooton, who takes out a pirate. And the fans are really rooting for Hooton. Here's Don Sutton, on track again after a mid-season slump. At this rate, the Dodgers could be the first team to clinch a division title. The Philadelphia Phillies are also hot and continue to win in the National League East. This week, the Cincinnati Reds found the going mighty tough in Philadelphia. Just watch George Foster go for another RBI. But Joe Morgan's out at home. That relay included left fielder Greg Luzinski and third baseman Mike Schmidt, two sluggers who use more than their bats to keep the Phils on top. Now watch Schmidt do his thing at third. How about that? Second baseman Ted Sizemore has really done a job this year. He's hitting close to 300 and doing what it takes to produce rallies. That's one base, and after reaching second a little bit later, Sizemore attempts to steal third. Just watch the play. It's an overthrow. And that gives Sizemore a ticket all the way home. Reliever Gene Garber has also been hot. He won 3 games, saved 5 more in just 27 recent innings of work. The Phillies are giving fans plenty to cheer about, particularly now that center fielder Gary Maddox has returned to the lineup. Back from a shoulder injury, Gary picked up right where he left off. It's out of here. While Maddox was out, Bake McBride played center field and hit over 350. Now the Phils have two of the most exciting center fielders in baseball. Hardly an encouraging fact for rivals who hope to overtake the Phillies in these final days. Over in the American League West, the Kansas City Royals go right on picking off their rivals. Just like clockwork, the Royals are red hot, showing everyone how you play this game. Frank White sparkles at second base. What a play. And catcher Darrell Porter shows off his arm. Porter's also having a good year with the bat. Just take a look. And pitchers can't relax when little Freddie Patek's up. He's having his best RBI season. And here he puts the Royals in motion again. The Royals just go right on rolling. Frank White keeps up that perpetual motion. Doug Bird is now the word in the KC bullpen since Mark Littell has now become a Royal starter. Yes, it's looking more and more like a Royal repeat for the divisional title. The New York Yankees are the hottest of all the division leaders, but they're still involved in a tight pennant race in the East. Young Ron Guidry has been blazing with one of the hottest fastballs around. This week he hurled 2 straight shutouts and could be the Yankee ace down the stretch. The Yanks are loaded with talent, like catcher Cliff Johnson, who guns down a base stealer. With Thurman Munson out for a few days, Johnson took over and won some big ball games. The bases are full of Yankees here as the guy the Yankees call Heathcliff steps to the plate. The pitch, and there it is. A long drive, and it's in there for a grand slammer. Johnson's second home run in 2 days. This one produced all the Yankee runs for victory over the Twins. The 7th straight victory for the Bombers, their 24th in 27 games. Crowning a perfect day for the Yankees and Billy Martin was the return to the mound of Don Gullett. After missing a month because of shoulder trouble, Gullett was razor sharp, firing a 3-hit shutout over the Twins. Although its winning streak finally ended in Cleveland, New York figures to be mighty hard to cool in September. You've got to talk about Ty Cobb when you're talking about baseball's immortals. One of baseball's greatest hitters, the Georgia Peach was long regarded as the greatest base stealer ever on the strength of 2 records once considered unreachable. In 1962, Maury Wills of the Dodgers took care of Cobb's single-season record of 96 steals. Steal number 103 is shown in this historical film piece, and that was followed by number 104, which remained the big league record until a fellow named Lou Brock came along to challenge both Wills and the Georgia Peach. Maury's single-season record was shattered by Lou in 1974, and this was the steal that did it, although Brock went on to extend the record to 118. It caused some kind of commotion, but not as much as Lou stirred up recently when he topped Cobb's all-time mark with steal number 893. Lou puts those records and numbers into this perspective.
Brock stole 893 bases because he stole one at a time. The fact is, no matter how many bases you still have to put the same amount of effort, energies, and inputs into every effort out there. And so that's why, to me, a stolen base is a challenge of the moment and not a situation where you add in a number to a number.
That night in San Diego was a mighty big moment because it established Brock as the greatest base stealer ever. An occasion like this goes beyond the momentary thrills of the game. It involves a lifetime of skill and effort.
It's not been an easy thing, but the moment is here. And all I can say, looking back on it, Randy, I did it my way.
No question, Lou, your way is unique. How did it all happen? Well, maybe we should let the master explain some of the key elements that go into stealing so many bases.
Well, you got to develop some aggressiveness about running. He has to love to run.
Okay, it takes great speed and a desire to run, but what else, Lou?
No matter how fast you are, if you don't possess a body thrust, you aren't going to be able to steal bases anyway. The body thrust is generally a throwing of your body into motion. You got to throw your body into motion. It's done with the upper part of your body. This part of your body, with the arms, is a driving force that forces your body into a movement to second base, and your leg has to go to keep up with it. And it's done in this fashion. It forces my leg into a short, sharper step in order to keep up with the momentum of my body. If I don't, I will fall flat on my face. The most important step, so far the mechanics goes, is a crossover step straight in line, and it's a short step because you want the upper part of your body and the balanced part of your body to be forward, which forces you into another step. And that's how you're going to get your drive. And at the same time, your arms got to keep going, pumping, 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 to build your power and your drive up. And that is called acceleration, and that's how you get acceleration. It's not done down here. It's done with this part of your body.
In addition, a base stealer has to study his opposition. As a rule, he steals off the pitcher, but naturally, he also has to consider the catcher. So we asked All-Star Johnny Bench what makes Brock so tough.
I don't think he has any fear. I think he just decides to go. He knows he can outrun most baseballs, and I think he's just relying on a little error in between the pitcher and the catcher, somewhere between the two of them, and he knows he's going to be successful 80% of the time, and that's been his success, his great amount of speed. It's just all of a sudden he sees what he wants, and he takes off, and he relies on just super speed and acceleration, especially those last few feet when he just eats up ground.
I think a base runner come along and bring an extra commodity to the game. That is the ability to mobilize himself between point A, point B without the aid of a hit, and at the same time have a ball club and yourself getting a great fulfillment out of it. It's upset the opposition, and at the same time it's add another dimension to the game that the average person cannot bring to the game.
And thanks to Lou Brock, more players are adding that dimension today, moving fast around the diamond and shaking up the opposition. Let's take a quick look at some of this year's top speedsters. Kansas City's Freddie Patek steals the toughest base of all, home plate. This year, Freddie leads the American League in thefts. California's Jerry Ramey is also among the American League leaders, seen running against the Orioles. Detroit's Ron LaFleur can go grab him too. Watch him spread his wings on this slide. Pittsburgh's Frank Taveras is the top base stealer in the National League this year. The Pittsburgh Steeler likes to take them head first. The Taveras technique has been copied by rookie teammate Omar Marino, also one of the league's top runners, and another reason why the Pirates lead the majors in stolen bases. In the American League, another rookie, Oakland's Mitchell Page, has come on fast to challenge for the lead. Earlier, Page set a league mark with 26 consecutive steals. Davey Lopes holds the Major League record of 38 in a row, and still is one of the best. Cesar Cedeno is one of 3 Astros who could steal over 50 bases. He's also a member of the exclusive 20-50 club, as is Joe Morgan. 20 homers, 50 stolen bases. And another one-time member, Lou Brock, but Morgan seems to do it every year. And when it comes to combining power with speed, Bobby Bonds. California stars in a special class. This year marks the 4th time he's stolen 30 bases and hit 30 home runs in the same season. He still has a chance to set a record with 40 steals and 40 homers. And when it comes to home runs alone, Of course, everybody knows that Babe Ruth was the man who wrote the record books. 12 times he led the American League in homers, and 4 seasons he clubbed 50 or more. His career record of 714 was long considered untouchable, but finally was surpassed 4 decades later in 1974 by Hammerin' Hank Aaron. This was the record breaker. Henry played 2 more seasons and went on to extend his major league mark to 755 career blasts. That figure was of special interest to fans this week, particularly in Japan, because Sadaharu Oh of the Tokyo Giants slammed this historic homer to give him a total of 756. More home runs than any man who ever played professional baseball. How about that? It was quite an event in Japan, and for this historic accomplishment, the Gillette Company salutes Sadaharu Oh and will present him with a Special Achievement Award. At the age of 37, there's no telling how many more homers Oh may hit before his remarkable career ends. By the way, several years ago in Tokyo, Hank Aaron, then with the Atlanta Braves, competed in a home run contest against the great Japanese slugger. Now watch O's front foot. He lifts it in a manner reminiscent of Mel Ott, and with masterful timing, sends the ball sailing into the stands. Of course, Japanese fans were anxious to see Bad Henry's power style. And here it is. A quick snap of the wrists, and that ball is out of here. Quite a ceremony, this meeting of the East and West, because you don't need an interpreter to appreciate 2 masters in the game of baseball. And there they are. All that's missing from the picture is the Babe himself. Commissioner Bowie Kuhn presents Henry with a silver bowl for totaling 10 homers in the contest. His rival, Sadaharu Oh, hit 9. And now wet your whistle while we point out some of the Major League happenings. Here's the long and short of it. Frank Howard says, don't worry, son, you can still run fast no matter how they size it up. You may not believe this tall story. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar batting for the Hollywood Stars. How about that strike zone? This is more in keeping with Kareem's stature. A basket baseball. Sometimes major leaguers wish the ball could be that size. A case in point. They aren't always as easy as they look. Bill Plummer looks up, then looks again. Sometimes you have to look before you leap. Watch Larry Heisel. He takes a dive and takes a swim, too. Pretty good stroke, Larry. Now let's watch a couple of fish out of water. Okay, we got the ball, but how do we get out of here? Of course, when you're young, it's easy to get carried away. Boy overboard. Come on home, boy. All the same, a ball player has to catch the ball no matter what the cost. Ouch. Chet Lemon and Wayne Nordhagen really sounded their gongs there, but Nordhagen held on, and they're still playing the game. How about this for playing the game? Nothing ever seems to get by Cleveland's Dwayne Kuiper. Man alive. That one's good for a double play. You don't have to be a spring chicken to do that. Just watch veteran Don Kessinger. And he gets the force to end the game. Congratulations to a pro who's been doing it for years. Let's stretch this a little further with one more defensive beauty. Compliments of Jim Spencer. Sensational. And sensational is the word for Philadelphia pitcher Steve Carlton, this week's recipient of the Gillette Special. This week, he kept the Pirates off balance with a strong performance, no matter how you want to look at it. The Bucks took the first game of a doubleheader, were threatening a serious challenge in the pennant race before Mr. Carlton took matters in hand. He held them to 1 run with his pitching, and Pirate pitchers found Carlton pretty tough with the stick, too. Here's the pitch. There it goes, a long drive, gone. Carlton's 3rd homer of the year and his 20th victory. The first pitcher to win 20 this year. The 4th time he's reached that magic circle. Congratulations, Steve, on another great season. And that's baseball this week. Goodbye, everybody.